In the top stories, escaped prisoner causes water damage at JNF General Hospital. Prime Minister Drew says double salary will stimulate the economy, and Skanaipa welcomes colleagues NIPAB. The details on these stories and more after the break. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. A prisoner who briefly escaped custody at the JNF General Hospital is back in custody after causing water damage to part of the institution. According to a release on Wednesday at approximately 4 p.m., a prisoner was brought to the Joseph Nathaniel France General Hospital under police custody for medical treatment. The prisoner temporarily escaped from police custody and in the process caused severe structural damage to the roof in the emergency room. The suspect was immediately apprehended. The release said the escape resulted in a busted pipe in the ceiling area which caused leakage through the roof and water damage. The maintenance staff at the hospital and the Public Works Department were immediately on hand to assess the damage and did the necessary emergency repairs to the area. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew says the double salary paid to civil servants, government auxiliary employees, pensioners and step workers are a gesture of appreciation which will benefit the entire country. During a local radio talk show on Wednesday, Prime Minister Drew said the payment of the extra month's salary also helps to stimulate the Federation's economy.
You have worked hard. All of you have worked hard. You have put yourself out there. And I think that you needed to be shown in a tangible way that we appreciate that. But in addition to that, our aim is also to stimulate the economy, to get to people so that people can have a good Christmas, people can spend, help businesses, help all around. So all of us will benefit from that injection into the economy as well.
The Prime Minister added that this was also part of the rationale behind his administration's decision to pay honoraria to government employees who worked on the front line during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister said the payments of the double salary and the honoraria are things that the government is able to manage, particularly as it moves forward with the diversification of the Federation's economy.
You can have CBI, you can have tourism, you can have construction, you can have agriculture, you can have energy, you can have the financial services, and we can have offshore educational sector and so forth. So we are looking at multiple aspects of the economy that we can develop to make sure that we are receiving the necessary revenues to continue the social programs and to keep us stable.
Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. The St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, Skanaipa, has welcomed the National Youth Parliament Association of Antigua and Barbuda, NIPAB, for a sitting of both youth parliament associations at a mock National Assembly on Friday. Skanaipa welcomed them at the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport on Wednesday, and President Muriel Knight spoke about the initiative.
The association over the last 2 decades has championed the causes of equality and justice in nation building, and we realize that for our region, the association over the last 2 decades has championed the causes of equality and justice in nation building, and we realize that for our region to accelerate, there must be true regional integration. And so when I took office about a year and a half ago, I made it my mission to embark on a journey to increase Sniper's regional reach so that we could have some better collaborations with them and join our causes together and agitate together. So our first partner would have been the National Youth Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda, and thus last December we began drafting a joint agreement that was signed in February of this year. And part of that joint agreement calls for an annual hosting of a youth parliament sitting. And so what you see here today is the fruition of that clause within the joint agreement, as on Friday we'll be having our very first joint youth assembly of the National Youth Parliament and Association of Antigua and Barbuda and the Singis National Youth Parliament.
He said over the long term it is hoped that more youth parliament associations would join the movement and they all host their neighboring associations.
Well, the plan in the long term is to reach out to other youth parliamentarian associations around the Caribbean, and so we're already in collaboration with the Parliament in Anguilla as well as the Parliament in Montserrat, and so we hope as the years go by that we can invite some of these parliament associations, and even as more are established, that they too are invited to join in the push for youth empowerment, youth development and regional integration. This year in 2022 it was agreed that the first sitting would happen in St. Kitts, and so next year for 2023, once all goes to plan, we should be journeying to St. John sometime in the summer or early September to have our second youth parliament sitting in Antigua.
At Friday's sitting, there will be 3 items up for debate on the agenda. The government will hope to pass the resolution to commission a health investigatory select committee, a resolution to enhance integrity and efficiency in civil service, and an amendment to the age of majority. Kimani Mannix, president of NIPAB, gave his views on the proposed amendment.
The one bill that we will be debating is the Age of Majority Amendment Bill of 2022. Now, the purpose of this bill is really to adjust the age at which an individual can give consent to medical processes. Because as we know, the age of majority is when you're legally considered an adult. You can consent. And so in the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, it is presently 18 for medical, medical purposes, getting tests, going to the hospital, being admitted, etc., etc. And so what we want to do is make it a bit easier for young persons who want to access medical facilities, enable it to be a bit more open. And so the purpose of the bill is to reduce that from 18 to 16 with the hopes that, if the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda, follow our pattern, that more young persons will be willing and able to access medical services.
The sitting begins at 9 a.m. The contestants of the National Carnival Talented Teen Pageant received their sashes at a sashing ceremony held at the Republic Bank headquarters on Wednesday. The participants are contestant number 1, Miss Bastia High School, Zara Humphrey; contestant number 2, Miss Washington Archibald High, Kajoy Isaac; contestant number 3, Miss Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Sia Mason; contestant number 4, Miss Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Malia Erskine; contestant number 5, Miss Gingerland Secondary School, Hadassah Daniel; contestant number 6, Miss Keon High School, Brenna Paul; contestant number 7, Miss Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Mahala Martin; and contestant number 8, Miss Virchild High School, Tahila Hart Johnson. Republic Bank St. Kitts Nevis is the title sponsor of the pageant. Country Manager Pamela Herbert Daniel said the bank is pleased to sponsor this year's hosting of the Talented Teen Pageant and outlined their intention to be involved in the growth and development of the contestants.
Being a social responsible company does not only mean providing a check, but more so to be involved. And what do I mean as involvement? What we want to do is to schedule a session for the girls, and we want to make sure that they're able to understand what money means to them and how they can save. And we also want to ensure that we give them that responsibility of saving by ensuring that we open an account for them at Republic Bank, which is going to be very important for us. And we also want to see these young ladies developing into positive role models within our society.
Vice Chair of the National Carnival Committee, Vera Galloway, thanked the Republic Bank for recognizing the importance of investing in the pageant.
The National Carnival Committee prides itself on building and maintaining relations with businesses and individuals within the corporate community. Today, we applaud and thank the Republic Bank Limited for coming on board as not only first-time sponsors, but as the titled sponsors for this year's National Talented Teen Pageant. We thank Republic Bank Limited for seeing the importance of investing in such a platform that provides so much support to our girls as we engage them in skills that would serve advantageous to their personal development.
The Talented Teen Pageant will take place on Tuesday, 20th December at the St. Kitts Marriott Resorts Event Center Dome. After the break, 246 graduate from the CFBC, and the world's largest cruise ship docks in St. Kitts. Stay with us.
Flow, jingle all the way home to flow, where the speed is faster and price is better. All the way home to flow, memory connections that bring us together, yeah.
Christmas starts the moment you bundle your Flow internet with your Flow mobile, because when you do, you get a free laptop. Plus, you get 100 megabits per second internet speed, 20 gigabytes of data, 4,000 local minutes, and unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube.
All the way home to flow.
Bigger, better, blowout. Black Friday weekend sales. Bigger savings, better deal, blowout discounts. The Bigger, Better Black Friday blowout 3-day weekend sale is on at Hotspots Building Centers, St. Kitts, Nevis. 25% off store-wide this weekend from the 25th of November to the 27th of November. 25% off store-wide on all discountable items from Thursday, November 25th to Saturday, 27th November. Bigger savings, better deals, blowout discounts. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Sorrel making, hey, punch your crumb drinking, hey, I'm on turkey baking. Now this is Christmas. A new home, land for you. It's time to get what you've always wanted. Ultra low rates, up to 100% financing and more. Make it happen for yourself and your family. Let Republic help you have the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, hey, punch your crumb drinking, hey, I'm on turkey baking. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. On Wednesday, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, held its 34th commencement ceremony, which saw 246 students from across the 5 faculties graduating. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, gave congratulatory remarks to the graduates.
On my own behalf and that of my colleagues in the Ministry of Education, let me extend sincere congratulations to you and your families. The immense pleasure is mine to address you on this auspicious occasion. Commencement provides the unique lens from which to view one's progress along the academic and professional achievement. You would have completed diploma courses, associate's and bachelor's degrees. The question is, what's next? Whatever your next step, I urge you to be the best you, the most productive you that you can.
The Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies at the CFBC accounted for a large number of graduates, with 34 students receiving associate degrees, 55 students awarded diplomas, and 2 students bestowed general certificates. Minister Hanley also urged the graduates to put the qualifications earned and the skills learned to good use in making positive contributions to society.
You have acquired new knowledge and professional growth that enhance your qualifications. Put those qualifications to good use. I concur with the view advanced by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The mind once stretched by a new idea never returns to its original dimensions. So you leave these hallowed walls with a broadened perspective that can enrich both your personal and professional life. Graduates, today's event signifies the culmination of years of sacrifice, hard work, and discipline, and we join with you to celebrate this milestone on your journey of success.
The mission of the CFBC is to foster the development of responsible, self-sufficient citizens by delivering a range of academic, professional, and vocational courses and programs that reflect high values and standards and which prepare students to make lifelong contributions to their communities. The St. Kitts Tourism Authority has described Thursday as a historic day since the restart of the cruise sector. The island welcomed 3 ships for the first time, and one of them was the inaugural visit of the world's largest cruise ship, the Wonder of the Seas. A plaque exchange ceremony was held aboard the Wonder of the Seas, and among the officials present was Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. The Wonder of the Seas is one of 13 expected inaugural cruise calls during the 2022-2023 cruise season, as announced by Minister of Tourism Honorable Masha Henderson. The 2 other vessels that visited St. Kitts on Thursday were the Aurora and Celebrity Equinox. Sierra White and Janaya Gums of the Virchals High School are the winners of the 15th edition High School Chef Competition. The duo captured the title by showcasing their culinary skills and creative expression at the competition held on Wednesday at the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions Kuna Conference Center. The cooking contest was organized by the St. Kitts Department of Youth Empowerment as part of the month-long celebration of youth held every November. Participating teams also came from the Keon High School, Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Bastia High School, Washington Archibald High School, and Sadler's Secondary School. The runners-up in the competition were Shania Thomas and Aisha Jalim of the Sadler Secondary School, and Daniqua Huggins and Somalia Dublin of the Washington Archibald High School placed 3rd. Junior Minister of Youth Empowerment, Honorable Iselene Phillip, is quoted as saying, "I just want to make sure that I said my congratulations to all the participants, especially the winners. You all did a good job. I am really proud to see the product that was produced and the meals on the plates. I know some of you weren't super pleased with how your item turned out, but you all still did a really good job." The Youth Empowerment Minister said that the aim is to, quote, "continue to encourage food and nutrition," end quote. She especially thanked the Sadler Secondary chefs for incorporating a nutrition aspect in their meals by eliminating the use of salt and sugar. Gratitude was also extended to the Ministry of Tourism, the sponsors of the high school chef competition. The sponsorship from the Ministry of Tourism is in partnership with the St. Kitts and Nevis Restaurant Week initiative, and it is done to support the junior chefs so that they can have an opportunity to participate in future Restaurant Week events. SL Hosfors and Company Limited has launched the Sissons paint brand. A brief ceremony was held on Thursday morning at the Hosfors Building Center. General Manager of Hosfors Building Center, Tara Hendrickson, gave an overview of Sissons' contribution to the Caribbean and noted that Hosfors is happy to partner with them.
Seasons Paint was first the company to successfully introduce products such as a Sisalak Chinese lacquer, polyurethane varnish, oil varnish, which is a stain and varnish in one, and a non-drip sealing white, WeatherGuard exterior emulsion, and a water-based enamel. The company also provides a tint for their top line of products, which include Supergloss, WeatherGuard, and Supermatte, with a variety of shades to choose from. Hosford's Building Center can now boast that we carry the largest paint range product on the island with the introduction of this paint brand, Seasons.
Claire Johnson, representative of Sissons, said the company will also be working with SL Hosfords to interact with the public and educate them on the proper use of their products.
We will have workshop sessions for architects, for contractors, for painters. We will have days when we will come here and engage with homeowners, DIYs, what you need to do and how you need to use the product to make sure that the product is fit for purpose and gives you the standard that is required.
Sissons originated in Trinidad and Tobago and has expanded its production to Grenada. Coming up in regional news, Youth Parliament draws to a close.
is Carnival Buzz, and we are here with episode number 3. Monak will tell us about what we've seen and what is upcoming for this episode.
Well, you know, so far we've been to the Calypso Tents, we've been to the Sugar Mass Awards. For this edition, we are taking a look at some of the mass in St. Kitts. So we spoke to Robertine Webb, who is the Director of Creative Economy. We also spoke to Ashley Allers from Fun Vibes, Corinne Poujard from DFX, and we have some highlights for you from some of the events that took place over the last weekend. And then of course Utopia also launched and Carnival Buzz was there. So stay tuned because we got an exciting show for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Episode 3.
You're watching Carnival Buzz on ZIZ TV. This is the big banana. Take it in your face. Come on down. It's no snow, it's all sun. Come on down.
Welcome back to Carnival Buzz here on ZIZ. You are looking at episode 3, and we're going to take you to the Director of Culture, Robertine Webb, and she's going to tell you all about their plans for Sugar Mass 51.
This is Carnival Buzz. We are here with Robertine Webb, Director of Creative Economy and an executive in the Ministry or Department of Culture.
All right, Robertine, welcome to Carnival Buzz here on ZIZ. Of course, you know, culture plays a very significant role in National Carnival. 51 years on, and you're now charged with the responsibility for certain activities during the National Carnival. So let's start with that. What are the activities that your department would be responsible for this year?
Right, so as you know, we have collaborated, so the Ministry of Creative Economy has collaborated with the National Carnival Committee in numerous events, namely the opening of Carnival, which, you know, we are producing, and as I've said before, it's one that is going to be unprecedented and grand. I'm pretty excited for it. Another is in the spirit of Christmas. Continuing, we have the National Folk Galore, which is basically the folklore competitions of masquerades, bull, and other folklore troupes. We are also in charge of hosting the inaugural event, which is the Midnight Escape Street Festival.
Well, let's start there. The Midnight Escape Street Festival. That sounds like a very interesting concept. So tell us some more about that.
For the Midnight Escape Street Festival, this was an idea I saw on TikTok actually, and they have midnight markets in New Jersey, Atlanta, California, and I thought that is something that would be appealing to, you know, St. Kitts and Nevis, and also find ways to integrate our culture. So basically our street festival will be more about our traditional culture and of course mixing the evolution with it. So a lot of entertainment, food, artisans, games, trivia, paint and sips and so forth.
And where in Bastia are you planning to host?
Right on the Bay Road, so between the juncture of College Street Gut and the Old Treasury.
Okay, sounds like an interesting affair. How does one get to participate in something like that, whether it's as a vendor, an entertainer, or, you know, something of that sort?
So for the vendors, we did have a call for vendors, which over 50 vendors applied to, and so we're pretty excited for that. We already met with the vendors. They too are excited. They love the idea. They love the standard that we're going to bring. In terms of the patrons, anybody can come.
Okay, and so you referenced in the spirit of Christmas. Now we know that because of COVID, that was moved out of Bastia. Word is that it's coming back.
Yes, it's back at the circus.
Good. And so are we going back to the pre-COVID days, or we're looking for uplift?
It's a mix because we have the bittersweet moment where we had to move due to COVID to the Antioch Baptist Church, but no, we are back on the street. However, as you said, yes, it will be enhanced. The stage will be more grand, more bigger, better acts. The participation of national contestants, so it is definitely something to look forward to.
Right. And the opening of Carnival, that's always a special event. And over the last 2 years in the virtual world, I mean, it was taken to a different level. What are we to expect this year with the creativity that you brings to this department?
As I said before, it's unprecedented. It's really grand, more theatrics involved. It's going to be very dramatic, and again, that's probably between Midnight Escape, the Street Festival, and the opening of Carnival. Those will be my top events for Carnival.
And Carnival in St. Kitts never could exist or be what it is without folklore.
Right.
And your department handles that aspect of the Carnival. So tell us something about, what you're expecting this year.
A unique initiative that we brought on is the mixed folk competition. So once ago you used to have the masquerades and the bull competition. We still have that. However, we have the cowboys and Indians, actors, clowns, and there weren't any competitions for them. And so because of the popularity and how many active groups there are, and so we wanted to find like a combined event for everybody else, and so that's why we came up with 3 competitions in one, called the National Folk Galore, has the masquerade competition, the bull competition, and the mixed folk competition. And it's also mixed with like the folklore avenue, so we would have a parade prior to the competition beginning.
All right, so overall then, your expectations for Sugar Mass 51, there seems to be heightened excitement, but from your perspective?
For me, because I am, spearheading the production, I have a really creative team. We can't get this done without the team, which you would see more of, but I'm really excited because of the innovation and the creativity being put into the events. We're definitely going bigger and better. So just be prepared, and I hope that, I know everyone will enjoy it.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Carnival Buzz here on ZIZ with Robertine Webb, the Director of Creative Economy and an Executive in the Department of Culture. We'll see you on the other side.
This is Carnival Buzz, and we have up next an awesome interview with Ashley Allers of Fun Vibes. He's going to tell us all about his preparations for Sugar Mass 51.
Everybody in this world got a special place called home. And everybody in this world got a place called home. Whether you're down in a foreign in the cold, rep your area code. Check me area code, rep me area code. Anywhere we go, you know me touch the road like this. Touch up the road like this, like this. Touch up the place like this, like this. Touch up the stage like this, like this, like this, like this. Come rep your who you are. The world is a stage, so showcase like a star. We little but we digging that we come from far. So we take it so I can't risk ya. So we roll, yeah, so we roll, yeah. My performance anytime we touch the road, yeah. That's how we roll, that's how we roll. When we the busting and we head, like we under respect anywhere that we go. People watching and they asking want to know why the hell we get up so. And I tell them must be the place we pan and go. Got me hyperactive, we hyperactive. We come from St. Kitts and shoot and ring with system. We don't have to practice, that's how we got this. Can't have me like this, we are not in no plastic. Anywhere that we go, people watching and they really want to know why the hell we get them so. It don't matter if the music fast or slow. Oh, go, hey. Oh, go, hey.
This This is Carnival Buzz, and we are here at the Fun Vibes Mass Camp with the big boss himself, Ashley Allers, and he's going to take us through today the preparations for Carnival Sugar Mass 51. So, Mr. Allers, Ashley, which would you prefer for me to call you? Big boss. The big boss. Tell us about your creative process. How did you come up with these costumes, these ideas? What is your process like?
Okay, thank you. And you can call me whatever you want. It's your choice, you know. Basically, for this year, we gave it some thought and look at what has transpired over the past 2 years with the pandemic, the way it impacted people's lives, and so on. And so it started about having a new mindset where people need to start thinking different. This is what the pandemic has taught us. And so it is where it began, having a new mindset. And so that is why our theme is break out. We have to break out from all the things that we have done in the past and see things different, do things different to achieve things differently. If you want to get new results, you have to think different.
Right.
And so it's about a new mindset. So break out a new mindset. And after we came up with that theme, then we started looking at what sections, how we would build around it. And so in order to break out, in order to have a new mindset, you must be a visionary. You must be a dreamer. You must be a risk taker. You must be a trendsetter.
Nice.
Yeah?
This is a trendsetter, isn't it?
No, this is risk taker.
I'm a risk taker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is where it all started. And then it's about bringing the colors. What do you want to put on the road? What looks good on the road? The type of material. When the sun hits it, it really reflects and gives off what you're looking for, gives you the wow effect.
Right.
And so that is how it is done.
Nice. I know you've participated in Carnival for over the years, for the past few years. Well, not few years. You've been around for how long? Tell us.
I've been in Carnival since a teenager.
Nice.
Started playing clown.
Nice.
You know, I remember the good old days as a young person dancing clown and dancing to real clown music and really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And having to travel as a young little boy, and I can vividly remember someone, Kennedy Byron, my good friend. We would go around the country with all the guys, Zach and Sonnet and all the people, and we had to sit on the truck. And while the guys going to the rum shop and so on, we the little boys had to steady and wait until they finish. And so we took pride in playing clown. That is what it was, dancing to clown music, enjoying being a clown, not just patrolling all over and put on a clown suit and mask who you are. Or you see it as a cheaper way of playing mask. And then in my early stage, it was a few of us from the convent school back then, now ICCS. We decided to join Janice Reynolds. And from Janice Reynolds, I moved on to Haynes Smith from my village community. From Haynes Smith, I created a new mass band with two partners, Christine Walwyn and Lyndon Berry, and we named ourselves as fun makers. We are fun-loving people, and so that is where it all started. And then at one time, sometimes there was only one band on the road, Fun Vibes, Fun Makers. And because of my love for Carnival, being around the world, I played mass in so many different places, and I saw the opportunity for us to really get the Carnival product expanded, evolved. And so I decided to move away from Fun Makers by myself, just to create a different brand. And so Fun Makers was established with New Vibes. And so that has been the partnership from since 2010 until now. So we are the longest band on the road. And from there, we recognize that there is a need to even have the mass established or evolve even more. And so we created Fun Teens, because we recognized they were young persons entering our band who was under the age of 18. We sell alcohol and so on, and we didn't want to have teenagers.
Right.
And so the following year we created Fun Teens, and in the future Fun Makers will come as a more mature band, appealing to a more older crowd, 35, 40 and over, who do not really want too much of costumes, revealing and stuff like that, and a whole different. And eventually I'll end up in Fun Makers.
Nice. Well, that leads us into the question that I was about to ask about your more mature audience, your more mature revelers rather, who would want to partake in this year's Carnival parade day. What do you have in store for them? What provision have you made for them in terms of costumes?
Quite frankly, for this year, we did not cater for a more mature audience, a more mature group. And the reason being, again, it is because of all of the uncertainties from the pandemic. There is still a lot of challenges in the supply chain. And so this year it was much easier to focus on what we have already established, Fun Vibes, and I can guarantee you, all goes well, we'll have something for a more mature audience, a more mature group.
For clarity, you're saying that there is just your established brand, which is Fun Vibes. There is no Fun Teens this year either.
Fun Teens, we're doing somewhat of incorporation.
Okay.
Again, because of some difficulties, and sometimes I think persons have to learn to appreciate what happens behind the scenes. Putting on a mass band, it's not as easy as it looks.
Could you tell us about that? Could you give us some behind the scenes info about how that happens? What are the things you have to do in terms of sourcing your fabric, in terms of sourcing your feathers? What's the process like?
Now, once you have established your designs, and that takes a little while. It can take a few months if you want to have it done properly, because it's about not just design, but you have to find the right material at the right cost. And so it is. I think people need to understand how it really works, because you can see a costume and you like this, and most of our costumes we have, if you see, they're well decorated with stones.
Yes.
A lot of stones,
yes.
A lot of trimmings and stuff like that. And depending, sometimes you want something, it can become very expensive. And so you have to take into consideration not just the design, but the cost of what you want to produce a costume at. And so it is design is the first stage, and then sourcing the materials, you know, and in order to get your production costs down so that you can afford or you can sell a more affordable costume.
I understand. Alright, that leads me into my other question. Tell us about your costume packaging and what comes with the package.
Our costume packages is
you can give us a price range.
Yeah, in the male section, what we've done is our package for the male starts at like $380, and up to $480, and the female starts from around, I think it's about $750 up to about $1,400 EC dollars. What we have done this year is we have looked at the cost, and we recognize that in order to produce the band, we have to make it affordable for our people. Fun Vibes is really about affordability and allowing the more common man on the street to play mass at a standard, you know. So we have our niche, we have our market, we have our people that we are targeting, who we want to ensure that they're on the road, and we have more people on the road. So our costing reflects that. It's about getting numbers, getting more people involved, let them appreciate and the experience that you get, so that you come back and you partake in Carnival. So saying this Carnival can be seen as one in the region that people want to go to.
Taking it back to parade, I've gotten my costume.
Yes.
What's the process like? Do I come? Is it going to be an event before we take off on the road? Is it going to be a party afterwards? Tell our audience what can we expect?
Well, usually on the first day, we usually have somewhat of a free breakfast, free brunch, sort of try to get our people, you know, on time. Yeah, well fed for the road.
Right.
However, over the years, we recognize, especially the ladies, they want to spend 2 and 3 hours doing their makeup.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they get there when the parade is about to begin or already started, because there's so many different things that they need to do. The hair, the nails, the ladies want to look hot on the road. And I understand and I appreciate that. And so it is. So once we get our people there, in fact, like this year, we're going to hit the road early. We're going to have a free road fete early, lunch, eat, drink, get ready. We're going to have someone on site for touch-up makeup and whatever.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Nice.
And then you hit the road. And then again, like I said to you, sometimes that our mass players sometimes would miss out on some opportunities like food and so, because they came late and so on.
Yeah.
So this year, what we are going to do, we're going to have a designated established area that where we're going to end at.
Okay.
So that our mass players know, hey, after the road, you can go to this place. And as a mass player, you can get food, you can get drinks here still, up to a limited amount of time.
So tell us about what your anticipations are for this year in terms of results on the road.
Fun Vibes is about fun. It's about the road experience. It is about, at the end of Carnival in January, that our mass players, they can say, I had a wonderful time. I enjoyed myself. I get my money worth.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so that is the first for us. In addition to that too, that we have gotten our costumes on time, and we have had challenges in the past, and so we are correcting all of that. But I'll tell you this year, I'm going to say this year, we ain't just coming for a good time and a good experience. We're coming to prove something this year, that we are the big, bad, fun vibes on the road.
You hear that, guys?
Big, bad, fun vibes on the road, where we just really enjoy ourselves. And we're going to mash up the road. There's nobody can mash up the road like fun vibes.
You're watching Carnival Buzz on ZIZ TV.
You're watching Carnival Buzz on ZIZ. We're celebrating Sugar Mass 51. And as part of the celebrations, of course, is our Mass here in St. Kitts. I had an interview with Corinne Pujard from DFX. They're returning on their own for the Grand Parade this year. And they're portraying the rebirth. So, take it away, Corinne. And the head of DFX is here with us today. Welcome to Carnival Buzz, Corey.
Thank you.
All right, and so as you can tell, we're at the mass camp. There's lots of stuff going on. But let's back up a little bit and do some history. When did DFX get on the road in St. Kitts?
2014 we were officially branded, so that Sugar Mass was our first Sugar Mass. The presentation that year was called The Sky is the Limit.
Okay.
I partnered with a designer out of Trinidad who pretty much, got me started with everything.
But that's not where you started. I mean, you've been in Carnival forever.
Yes.
What about that?
Well, playing Mass since I was 9, and then school, it was majorettes at what is now ICCS, formerly St. Teresa's Convent. And then I actually started playing Mass with Janice Reynolds, Stacey Hobson. I loved going to the Mass camp when Gomez was here from Trinidad, just to see the entire process of everything coming to life. And then we joined up with when Ashley and Christine had Funmakers.
Correct.
But every time my friends and I got there, everybody's like, what section y'all in? Because we embellished our costumes so much. They're like, well, ours don't look like that. What happened? But, always the knack for wanting to stand out and to be different.
So as you talk about that, my question is, where did that creativity come from?
I think it's since I was a child, to be very honest. I mean, we had school projects, and one day it was the nativity scene. And the teacher just said, do a nativity scene. Everybody did little drawings and stuff, and I went to school with a box with all the animals upright, almost two-dimensional, and cotton wool on them. And, we had arts and crafts at school.
And and I know, I mean, yes, DFX is Mass, but you've done a lot more than that when it comes to Carnival. Tell us something about that.
Before DFX was branded, I used to do makeup because at one point I designed for a former Mass band, Inferno.
Okay.
And in 2005, their first year out, won Band of the Year. And from then, everybody was like, well, how did your makeup last? And that's where the little makeup thing started. And, I worked with people like, Ma Allen, Makisa Olakvin, a former Miss St. Kitts contestant, Valencia Henry, who is in Taiwan now. She's also a former contestant. I've worked with Culturama, Swimsuit, and Queen Pageants as well. So.
All right, sounds very interesting. And so, after a 2-year hiatus, we're back on the road again, and DFX is back in full effect. Tell us something about the Mass that you're presenting this year.
Well, for this year, the theme is very personal in terms of the concept of rebirth. I have a thing for the phoenix. I actually have a tattoo on my arm. It's covered now, but it'll be on display on the road on Carnival. And that's where the whole thought process started. It actually started out with this smoke, this fire, but it didn't leave much to be able to build on for sections, and so did some more research on it and came up with Rebirth, the image of the phoenix, and thinking of everything that a lot of us have gone through. In 2020, a lot of us, lost our jobs. Some of us were fortunate enough to have our jobs but be working from home. Personally, a lot of things I was going through, so this was my way of expressing myself. So that's where it pretty much came from, the rebirth of Carnival. We recently had elections, so a rebirth for a new administration, new things going forward, So that's really where the theme came from.
Quite and very interesting.
Some people just think you just slap a name on it. But
I know.
It actually does take, some serious thinking. It was literally probably a week and a half. My former apprentice and I, Lincoln Watley, who did some of the designs as well with me, we were back and forth about it. And then, of course, I have a good friend in Nevis who is very good at writing. So you tap into all your creative sources to help bring, this project together. So it was not just me. We had a full team.
Yes. No, and it's interesting, as you say. Some people think that, they just put on a bath suit, as some people say, string, skin, bikini, and beads. But there's a story to be told, and you guys are going to be telling it. How has it gone so far, though, in terms of your preparation for Sugar Mass 51?
Preparation, there are hiccups here and there, but we are weathering the storm with the hiccups, working with our freight forwarder to ensure that our shipments get here on time. They've advised me of what to do and what not to do. Getting our stuff out of China has been
a challenge.
Actually, no, surprisingly, it hasn't. No, I have actually one set of the stuff has actually reached my freight forwarder in Miami last week. I had enough lead time in September to be able to order those things, and
that's good.
You know, so a little different for me because usually I'm the one that does a lot of the stuff, and I have a wire bender on staff now. His name is Patrice Matthew. Awesome. He has been behind the scenes so that we are able to actually start wrapping and preparing the pieces so that by the time the feathers get in next month, all we have to do is feather instead of everything happening all at once, you know. I've taken a little bit from the assembly lines in the factories where you do things and you put it aside for when you need it. So that is one of the things that we
But you know, the madness usually creates to the excitement of Carnival,
I know,
right?
and I honestly did not I missed the excitement of the day, you know, with COVID-19 and we were on lockdown. I remember the first New Year's morning, one of my revelers called, so what time you say we're picking up my costume? And I was like, girl, get off my phone, you know? And I had a client to do something for that day, which kind of helped me, pull me out of my little rut because, you know, you're feeling sad, but, you know, the slave labor of it and the sleepless nights. I didn't miss it too much, but I'm weathering that storm.
Good. So how has it been, though, in terms of registration? I know Mass has taken on a new level, or has been taken to a new level in St. Kitts. So. And of course, people think, well, okay, you know, big bands are going to get whatever it is. But DFX has been there. DFX is considered a big band. How has it been in terms of getting the mass players in?
The registrants are coming in. I mean, we cater to everybody. So, and one of the beauty about our mass band is that everything you see in here is, with the exception of maybe the frames for the front line, everything else is made on island.
Wow, that's
interesting. So one of the things we offer is customization. So even though you see some of the, you know, scantily clad costumes, we can cater to someone else who wishes to have this section but wants it. Say they want to have